Hey guys, welcome back to Fix It Friday, the weekly YouTube series where we talk about video game console repairs, mods, and restorations. And for this week we have the SNK Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is a handheld system that came out in the late 90s, and honestly there are quite a lot of people who aren't even aware of this thing. It competed with the Game Boy Color and kind of with the Game Boy Advance. It didn't have much of an impact here in the United States. There are about maybe 100 or so games that were released for this console, but some of them are quite good. I mean, there's some Metal Slug games on here in particular, which are really awesome. But, you know, as you can see from what you're looking at right now, this console, just like many others from this time period, does not have a backlit screen. And so using it nowadays can be kind of difficult or annoying. You really need to have direct sunlight or light basically blasting straight at the screen in order to see it properly. Thankfully nowadays there is a modern screen replacement, and as you can see here in the kit, it's actually very similar, if not identical, to the same kit that people are using in the Game Boy Color and in the Game Boy Pocket. I think the main differences maybe is just how this thing is programmed and what kind of ribbon cable it uses, but the screen, the underlying screen, is the same. Alright, so on this week's episode I'm going to take this thing apart, we're going to replace the screen with this new one, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Let's get started! Okay, so to disassemble the Neo Geo Pocket Color, you have a total of 6 screws on the back that you need to remove. One of these, this one right here, happens to be a tri-wing screw, and all the other ones are regular Phillips screws. So if you have tools for opening up, you know, Game Boy Colors or Pockets or whatever, you should be fine. So you can just lift it up. There's a little CR2032 battery, but you can just leave that in there. It'll come up with the case. And then when you get to this part, there is a single screw, a Phillips screw over here. It looks like they had a spot here for another screw, but this one did not have it, and I guess that's just how some of them come at the factory. I'm not really sure. So there is some desoldering that is required. So as you can see here, these are the speaker wires. So to take those out, all you really need to do is just heat up your iron, and I have like a little tweezer to just pull these guys away. So you just heat and pull away, pull away, and that's it. Very simple. Now, there's one final thing that you need to do. You need to flip over the case, and we actually need to remove this little joystick here. So what I do is I have this little spudger tool here, and I just come in and pull, like twist, and it pops right off. And now everything is basically disconnected except for the screen. So to disconnect the screen, you can see that it's kind of bent inward like this. So you kind of just like pull down a bit, like that. If you just pull these bails upward with your thumb or some other tool, now the board is disconnected. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is remove the original screen, and I'm just going to show you. This is also very similar to a Game Boy Color, where if you kind of twist the plastic just a little bit, you can kind of pry up a corner off from the glue. And I'm just going to use my tool, or sometimes you can use your finger. Just get under there, disconnect it from the glue, and there we go. The screen is fine. We can just set it aside for now. We're going to take off this cover because we have a replacement, so I'm just going to kind of push with my fingers. That's it. And we don't need to put that on for some time now. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach the screen and the screen cover. So first thing we're going to do is just pull this off. From here on out, you got to remember not to touch the inside of the screen at all. And then we're going to go ahead and line these guys up. And it's a perfect fit. Of course, there's a little piece of dust. What a surprise. Now the next thing that we need is the screen, and you can see how I've oriented it. So I take the ribbon cable and slide it through this little slot over here, and then we're going to peel the protector off. Okay. And just snaps right into place. It's extremely easy, this kit. No cutting or anything needed. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach the screen to the controller board. So basically you just gotta line these two up to each other. And that's that. And now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take this piece in, get it lined up here. And now both pieces are attached. Okay, so at this point we need to start repopulating all of the buttons and start getting everything locked down and assembled into position. So it's a little tricky to navigate, but basically we're going to put this like this. Get these membranes into position. Okay. And then these two membranes go up here. And we're not going to worry about the joystick now. That can be done at the very end. It's not actually important. And then this guy we're going to tuck up. And I don't know if you can see it, it's actually a little tricky, but I got to get these speaker wires out. They have this nasty tendency of getting stuck underneath where they don't belong. But that's okay. Okay, so it's all there. Everything's in position. Now we're going to go ahead and just lock it down with this one screw. Helps a lot to have magnetized screws for this kind of occasion. So just put this guy in. There we go. It's all locked in now. Now you'll notice I have this extra little thing over here. So this is a touch sensor. So what this does is if you push on the board, you'll get a change in brightness. And so what I'm going to end up doing is just tucking this in. I'm going to zoom in for a closer shot of that. Back in a sec. Alright, so what I discovered is really that I don't actually need to do anything. So here's the touch sensor right here, and it's going to end up like just sitting right over here near where the cartridge is. If I just come in and seal it up like this. So I actually don't think I need to do anything with it apart from just leaving it in this general vicinity, and I think just touching the top of the system is going to be enough to adjust brightness if that's something that I want to do. Alright guys, so we're back and I have finished reassembling everything, and as you can see the new screen really looks fantastic. And just for the sake of comparison, I also have a stock system with a normal screen that's not backlit or anything like that. And, just so you can see, it really requires that direct light. You can see I'm using my overhead lamp to make that happen. And, when you turn that off, if you don't have direct sunlight, you see nothing, whereas the backlit is just fine, no issues. So it's a very similar experience to the Game Boy Pocket and the Game Boy Color screen mods because it's the same underlying hardware. One thing you'll notice is that there is a reduction in size. So I think it's about a 25% reduction in size of the screen. But to me, honestly, I mean, I think that's absolutely worth it in exchange for getting like a high quality image, which you definitely get here. Just to show you too, the brightness change is working. So right now the brightness is totally off, so now they're basically the same. So it's just a matter of tapping on that section of the system, just like I was mentioning in the previous cut of this video. All right, so that's basically it. I mean, I really recommend this. It's very easy to do. There's no cutting. There's no real modding involved. The only thing you have to do is desolder and then resolder the speaker wires. So this is a great mod for beginners. So if you like what you saw, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, and it'd be great if you guys could subscribe to the channel. We're going to have more videos coming soon with additional repairs and restorations and mods. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!